Welcome to today's video where I show you how I customize my army bomb. So this is what my army bomb currently looks like after PTD tour, but I'm going to D-Day tour for the Agust D. So I want to do a whole makeover and I'll show you the process of how I do it. So this is a template that I created myself on Cricut Design Space. It literally took me like months to get to this template because as you can see it's like a little bit thicker up here than it is down here, and that messed me up so bad because I couldn't figure out how to make the decals accurate. And I'm not kidding when I say like it took me forever to get this template, because these are just some of the failed attempts that I had. I'm keeping them because I don't like to waste decal. I'm gonna use all of this eventually for maybe smaller projects because vinyl's expensive and I can't just throw them away. But this template is like the most accurate I could get and I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll link it down below if you have your own Cricut, Silhouette, or cutting machine. You can download it as a SVG file or a Cricut design project and just open it up in your design space. I will also link physical decals below if you don't have a cutting machine, and they'll come in packets that look like this and then handles that look like this. If you look at the listing, this skin is part 1 and this listing is part 2. If you want the full set, please add part 1 and part 2. I made it in separate listings because I want you to be able to customize if you want the handle skin a different color than the rest of it, because that's the way I like to do it. If you're confused about where all these pieces go, the big one is for the handle, this one is for this part, the skinny long one is for around the top, this one with the hole on it is for the bottom, this one with the hole in the middle is for this very top part, this half circle piece is for around here, and then these two little circles are the buttons. One of the most common questions that I get is, doesn't it ruin your army bomb? And in my experience it hasn't, and I've changed it about 5 times now, but I don't want to say that it 100% doesn't because I haven't tried all the vinyls in the world and I don't want to be responsible for ruining your army bomb. So I'm just going to tell you what I've used in the past and then I'll show you what it looks like when I take it off. So in the past I've used PA specialty vinyl and I don't have the tube for it anymore, but I also use Cricut brand vinyl, which is more common, and I use the premium permanent vinyl most of the time. These types of solid color Cricut vinyls are usually the thin, more flexible type, while this kind with the shimmer or like some special texture on it are usually very thick, and I do find that they leave a lot more residue than the regular solid colored ones. But I'll show you the pros and cons of the different types of vinyl at the end of the video maybe, and you can decide which type is best for you. So my Agust D Army Bomb makeover is inspired by this decal that I found in Japan. I'm gonna try and match the colors to this because this dragon reminds me of Agust D because of Daechicha and now Haegum. The clothes Yoongi wears in both of them has dragons on them, so they just remind me of him. So if you want your whole army bomb skin to be just one color vinyl, you can just go ahead and cut this out as is. But for me, I like to have my handle skin a different color from the rest of the skins, so this one different from the rest. So besides the handle skin, I already cut out the rest of the pieces in this, I'm not sure what color you would call this, but it's like a brownish gold metallic. And then now I just have to cut out the handle piece, and I'm gonna do it with this shimmery gold vinyl. So if you want to do the same as me and have the handle piece be a different color vinyl, I'm just gonna go ahead and detach this. Now you can see they're all separate pieces here, so I'm just gonna hide everything except the handle piece and cut it out. So now you would just cut out this one handle piece on a different color vinyl. So I previously created these cut files of these kind of cherry blossom looking flowers that I've used on all my previous army bombs. I really like this design, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again, but this time in gold. So I'm just going to copy it and put it with my handle. If you're using your own cutting machine, I highly recommend that you check your calibration before you cut out these decals, because even if it condenses like 1 millimeter, it'll be very obvious because you'll see an empty strip at the end. So now all of my decals have been cut out, and this is what you would get if you order from the physical decal listings. This is the handle skin, and these are the accessory skins. These are just decals that I made for my own personal army bomb. So these are the flowers, and then I made a D-Day Agust D decal special for this tour. So if you're deciding what kind of vinyl you should buy, I will let you know the pros and cons. So both of these are Cricut brand vinyl, but they're different texture, different thicknesses. The cons of this kind of vinyl, this is like a textured, thick, I think it's called shimmer vinyl. This is like the thickest vinyl that I've seen. The cons of vinyl like this is that I found that it leaves more residue than these or the ones that I just took off. It's easily possible to get the residue off by just like dabbing it with some pieces of other vinyl. So for example, this is like a scrap piece of vinyl that came off the board, but if I just use this to like dab the surface of my army bomb on the residue, then the residue would like all come off onto the tape. So that's how I've done it before. Another con of this kind of vinyl is that it's so thick that it's not stretchy and flexible enough to conform to like the curve that's on this bulb part, so you get more like wrinkles and bubbles. Another con of this kind of vinyl is that because the surface is textured, it doesn't stick to itself very well. So on my other army bomb, you could see that I had this is Bangtan Sonyeondan, that I had this on top of the handle, but if I tried to do it on this textured vinyl, it wouldn't stick very well. As you can see, this kind of vinyl is like very thin. It's very flexible. You can even like stretch it. So this is why when I used this kind of vinyl on this part of my army bomb for the last makeover, you saw no bubbles, no wrinkles at all. It's because this kind of vinyl kind of stretches and conforms to the curve that's on the bulb really well, whereas the thick vinyls can't really stretch and conform at all. Another pro of this is that it's very easy to take off. So it sticks well while it's on the army bomb, but it peels off very easily. If I were to use this kind of vinyl or any kind of non-textured vinyl on my handle part of my army bomb, then I could put this here. And then the con would just be color pretty much. So I wanted gold because I wanted to match this dragon. I was kind of doing my whole makeover based on this dragon. So there's no thin vinyl like this that comes in the color of gold. So that's why I just went with the textured surface gold. So to sum it up, if you're really worried about your Army Bomb getting damaged or it not peeling off okay, and you don't want any chance of bubbling at all, then I would just go for this kind of thin vinyl. But if you're particular about your color and you want the textured surface and you don't mind little wrinkles and bubbles, then you can use these. The special kinds of vinyls like the metallic or the shimmer or the sparkly, those kinds of vinyls are usually thicker. And then the plain colors like this or this are usually the thin stretchy vinyls. So this is my finished D-Day Army Bomb look. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and I hope it gave you some inspiration for your own Army Bomb. Thank you for watching this whole thing, and I will see you next video for a Japan trip vlog.